Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste, Didi. Vivekananda ji, Ashmi ji, Sagar ji, everybody. Didi, I think your video is off.
Okay.
Yes, now it is. Namaste, welcome everybody once again. I request our Vaishnavi, Mari Vaishnavi. She is our Samskara Varga, Nachiketa Samskara Varga Hebal participant. She will be starting with the prayer. Vaishnavi is there? Yeah, Vaishnavi, you can unmute.
Namaste. Sahana vavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Dhanyavad, Vaishnavi. So today, as a continuation of Mania, Dr. Lakshmi Didi's talk, today is our 15th session of this Amrita Parivar lecture series, Pravachana series. So last week we have seen, after the Bhakti Yoga, 12th chapter, the Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and how it will be applied as an for the Amrita Parivar, how it can be as an applied form. It can be applicable in our day-to-day life, because Didi already told how Tattvamasi is explained in Bhagavad Gita. So from 13th chapter onwards, the last part of the Aikyam, the Asi part, how the Jivatma, Paramatma, the Aikyam, the relation of individual soul and supreme soul, the relation we can find out, and that the what you can say, a compiled form we can find out in the 13th chapter. So with this, all the 35 shlokas Bhagavan is explaining, because in the beginning also we can say Arjuna is asking the question, what is called the Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Jnanam, Nyayam, all these questions Arjuna, when he is asking, Bhagavan is explaining all the detailed way as a Jnana Yoga, very detailed way Bhagavan is explaining. So what is the difference between each Kshetra and the Kshetrajna, how we can understand, and how we can make use of this Kshetra to understand the Kshetrajna. So how, by making use of this body, mind, intellect, and purifying yourself, and the character making formation has to happen to understand the Kshetrajna, and that purification, modification process, how we can do it, and that differences Bhagavan is explaining, and Nirakara, Akara, this thought process also Lakshmi Didi has explained in the last the sessions. So how the character is much more important, that aspect also we have seen. And as a continuation of it, now today Manya Lakshmi Didi will be explaining about the 14th chapter, how in Amrita Parivar, the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, how it will be applicable in our day-to-day life. And what is very important for every citizen, we can say, because we all are part of this gunas, three gunas, and everybody is one or other way part of or having these gunas, and the variations and changes we need to understand to express ourselves, to imbibe the good qualities in ourselves. So let us make use of Didi's provision today. All of you knows about Manya Lakshmi Didi. Manya Dr. Lakshmi Didi, she is now the founder, chairperson or chairman of the Vivekananda Kendra Vedic Vision Foundation, Kodungalur, and she has taken up a lot of many responsibilities earlier, like a joint general secretary, and then the president of Vivekananda Kendra, a great learned Vedantist or a learned personality in Vivekananda Kendra family, one of the senior most life worker or the Karyakarta of Vivekananda Kendra, and having thorough knowledge about Swami Vivekananda, Karma Yoga, and our scriptures. So we are very fortunate that Dr. Lakshmi Didi is with us and guiding us in this beautiful evening time. I request our Dr. Lakshmi Didi, please start the session.
Brahmacharya Vrati Dandi Sarva Vedanta Pandita Srimad Viveka Yogi Mam Prachodayadu Sarvada Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangham Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Good evening and namaste to all of you. As Prasad has already indicated, we have gone through the 13th chapter, Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. It is amazing the way Bhagavan has shown us or awakened our intellect to the truth or reality which exists in the universe as dying and undying. Part of the whole universe, we can say, is all the time dying, dying, dying. Our body, our mind, our cells in our body. But in spite of it, there is an element of life. So Krishna tells Arjuna, you can understand that when I tell you, all that you find in this universe, they're all kshetras. But what enlivens it, what brings them to life, what you find as pulsating life, that is me, Arjuna, Kshetrajna. So we could look at our family and judge what are the dying part of our family, our property, our attachments, our foolish decisions about earning wealth and all those things. They have absolutely no life in them. That is, they are not enlivened by the Almighty. But on the other side, all that is our intellectual studies, understanding, meditation, they're all we can get a spark of that Kshetrajna. So Arjuna was very happy. But he was happy, but was not fully satisfied. He wanted to get an answer how the one has become the many. Here Krishna has told of two things, Kshetra and Kshetrajna. So there is a mathematical problem here. He wants to know how one has become the many. This is only two. Tell me, Krishna, how you have become the many. What is the secret behind it? the one Kshetrajna gets transformed into this universe of multiplicity, plurality, and whatnot. How is it that possible? So Krishna says, all right, I will tell you that. When you get this jnana, all your bindings, links, or I said the locks on our treasure chest will all get broken. So that is this wonderful knowledge which we are going to receive from Krishna, by contemplating on which we will be able to rectify many, many misunderstandings and mistakes in our life. So when we stood on the 13th step, we thought, now we can easily get on. See, we are all Sri Krishna's devotees. We have acquired so much of knowledge. And the security check will ask us to just go in. But no, he caught us. He searched into all our inner pockets and found out 20 different characters which prevent us from understanding the truth, which prevent us from getting on to the 14th steps. And the wonder of wonders, we were all the time under the impression that these are things which we can throw off our luggage. All right, I don't want this bag. All right, I will leave it. I won't take this, my phone, I can leave it. But no, Krishna's analysis surprises us. He goes to the innermost part of our personality and picks out amanitvam. Oh, found out. I was thinking nobody knows about it, only I know about it. I am the doer, I am the doer, I can do that, I can. Adham vitvam, companion of amanitvam. So like that, so the dying part of our personality is not this kshetra alone, but our misunderstandings, our ignorance, all have put their seal on our character. They are all dying part of our character. So Krishna says, you can't understand kshetrajna with this sort of impurifications on you. So he says 20 characters have to be removed. Now, one very interesting thing, when I was reading this, suddenly it struck me. When you are a bhakta, Sri Krishna is not that much bothered. He said, he is my bhakta, he is my bhakta, he is my bhakta. He went on saying in 7 stanzas in the 12th chapter, you know. But when we ask for Nirakara Parabrahma, no concessions at all. We have to be absolutely purified in our mind. That is why none of us can contemplate on the Nirakara. By that time, we will fall down somewhere. By that time, my phone will ring or somebody will come and say, Pujya. Suddenly I remember him. One householder, he said, don't disturb me. Today I'm going to sit for meditation. Nobody should come into my room. He got into the room and closed the door. Suddenly, after some time of meditation, he said, I feel like having a cup of hot decoction coffee. He slowly came out. Then asked for coffee. And nobody should disturb me. I'm going to meditate. Again, he went in. By 1 o'clock, it goes on like that. So, even if we shut off everything, our inner sanctum sanctorum is filled with amanitvam, adambhitvam, All those things are there. So in the 14th chapter, when we are standing on the 14th step of Bhagavad Gita, we have to be very, very, very careful. And it is a very wonderful suggestion. Sri Krishna says that my bhakta, my sadhaka, cannot be attached to the kshetra part of it. All these unwanted characteristics, your yearning for this, your desire for this, your attachment towards this, they are all kshetra svabhava. Kshetrajna has Satchidananda, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. So no mercy. If you want to contemplate on the ultimate truth, the absolute truth, the Nirakara Parabrahma, no concessions are there. Security check will not permit you to move forward. So Arjuna was looking at Krishna like that, but Krishna is so very kind and considerate towards Arjuna, because it is through Arjuna he is going to give to the whole humanity the Upanishad Sara. So Krishna was very patient. He waited for Arjuna to put the next question. And the question came, Kshetra and Kshetracha makes two, but I want to know how you have become the infinite universe. So, it's very interesting. Where did he take Arjuna? To the very first maternity hospital. The very first maternity home, which was there at the beginning of creation. Maternity hospital, creation. Yes, creation means what? One bija has to be put into the field. And I, bija prada karta, Bhagavan says, I put my seed into Prakriti. Then she becomes enlivened. She becomes energized. And she said, okay, now I shall start my creation. So Prakriti has with her three upadhis, three gunas, sattva, raja, tamas. Go ahead, you make use of them and do your creation. I won't interfere with you. You can go with your creation. So that was the first maternity hospital. We cannot even think of it. The beginning of creation. And Prakriti Purusha Samyoga, the whole universe has come into existence. And this particular knowledge, Krishna says, will remove all your ajnanas. So when Krishna says knowledge will remove all the locks on your ajnana, suddenly I was remembering Sri Krishna Janma. It's a very beautiful instance. Vasudeva was tied up with chains. He was in a prison. But when he carried Krishna, the Sakara Brahma Rupa of the Nirakara Brahma, Satchidananda Murti in his hand, all the chains got broken away. The doors opened. The whole universe was alerted. Vasudeva is carrying the Nirakara Brahma, the Chidananda Sakara Brahma as Sri Krishna in his hand. There was heavy rain. How to go in the rain? Suddenly an umbrella came. Anandanag himself became the umbrella. But there is no light. Ananda made all the jewels on his head, shed the beautiful light, and the way became clear. Went to Yamuna. Yamuna is full of water. How to cross to the other side, to the Nanda Gokula? Yamuna gives way, and he goes there. Yashoda is in slumber. The whole Gokula has been put into a very deep slumber by the Mahamaya. And she is lying there. She puts Krishna there, carries her back to Devaki's bed, puts her there. Then what happens? When the Parabrahma was put down, the chains came and clasped, the doors became closed, and the negative forces were alerted. And we know the story. This is a symbolic representation that when we are deeply connected with the knowledge, all other obstacles and everything will be removed from our path. What more? See, when they write all these wonderful stories, they put so much of inner meaning into it, but we fail. Unless we get a chance to read Gita here and there or get some knowledge, we won't be able to connect them together. So that is how Vasudeva comes back, and Kamsa comes and takes the child. He caught hold of her feet for a few seconds, and for that she forgives him. I'm not going to kill you now. Your killer is born already. Search for him. So that is how the mother of the universe blesses for a few seconds, because you have touched my feet. Now I can't kill you. Charanayugalam ambayaha. You have touched it. That is how he gets mother's blessing for a few seconds. Now the creation has started. So Sri Krishna is describing how Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, the characteristics of each of these gunas, have been very clearly spelled out by Krishna. And the characteristics of a person who is filled with Sattva, how he will be. Characteristics of a person who is filled with Rajas, how he will be. Characteristics of a person who is immersed in Tamas, how he will be. So all that is described. Sattva means all that is taking you towards Satya. We have seen Amanitya, Padambitam and all that, all those good characteristics which take us to Sattva. And Sattva gives us the capacity to see the whole, to understand the parasparya, the interconnectedness, interrelatedness, interdependence. It has a capacity to make us aware of the totality, the parasparya which exists, and how we are also part of it. So when this knowledge is there, then our character takes a different hue altogether. Some sort of a prakasha comes into the life of such a person. His understanding, his sympathy, his capacity to love, everything gets improved. So Sattva, when it is very, very predominant in a person, he can very easily start ascending the steps to divinity. That is the beauty of it. Then, what about Rajas? Oh, Rajas. We want to earn. We want to make a house. We want to make a deposit. We want to have children. We want to have a good job. We want to have promotion, prospects. Every time working to earn something to add to your worldly pleasures, and that is how it will be. And Tamas, oh, I don't bother about spiritual life and all that. I have my own pleasures in life, and I am not this bothered about your Krishna or Arjuna or Gita or anything. Go ahead. I don't want to hear all of that. So, Nidra here doesn't mean sleep as such. Nidra is ignorance. You don't want to know at all anything about it. That is what has come to our people now, We are closed to taking this spiritual knowledge. We don't want that at all. So when you have satsangas and things like it, very few people will attend because they are not bothered. If you want to tell them how to improve your money earning capacity, a lot of people will come. If you invite a film star, many people will come. So it has become like that. So sattva, rajas and tamas. That is okay, Krishna. 2, 3, all right, I understand. One has become 3. But what we find is infinite variety, Krishna. Tell me how it becomes infinite. I tell you, Arjuna, what happens, these gunas are mixed in various proportions. You know how the 7 colors, when they are mixed in various proportions, can give to infinite variety of colors in this universe. You look at a tree, this tree is green, is different from that tree is green. That is different from the green of this grass. And this is different from the green of the other tree. Oh, that is that. So the proportion in which they are mixed together, I see that is what is creating this. Prakriti is doing a wonderful thing. It is mixing and remixing, and in whatever way it is mixing up the things, and a little sattva here, he will add a little bit of rajas, a little bit of tamas. That is what most of us, a little prayer, a little understanding, a little satsang, but the rest of the time we spend in rajasic and tamasic works. So the proportion in which they are mixed, Sri Krishna says, the difference in the proportion of the gunas are responsible for the differences in our character. But is this knowledge is going to help us? Yes. There is the secret. When these are responsible for our character, their mix-up is responsible for creating a good person or a middle class or thing. We can do something to add to the proportion. When a mother cooks, she finds mirchi is jada, salt is less. She will add a little bit of this, little bit of that, and then make it perfectly enjoyable. In the same way, we have the option. That is what Sri Krishna told Arjuna, yethechasi tatha kuru. That ichha we can bring into our life and adjust the proportions of the sattva, rajas and tamas. Our Maharshis have done wonderful homework. They knew that such questions will immediately arise. Sattva, rajas, tamas is only 3. How much of variety? Yes, different proportion. Infinite possibilities are there. The sattva, rajas, tamas content in a tree is different from the sattva, rajas, tamas content in an animal. It is different in a man, and it is super combination in a sadhana. So these combinations are possible by varying the proportions. So what is it we can do? Our Mahārshis must have thought about it. And they said, all right, we shall create a system of acharas and anushtanas for the life of a Sanatana Dharmi, by which the sattva will go on increasing. Rajas will be kept at the whatever is necessary. For a householder to earn a little bit of money, little rajas is necessary. Rajas is, tamas is necessary. He has to go to sleep at night. So they have given us beautiful, the Dharma Shastras give us the various anushtanas. Brahme, Muhurte, Utthaya. Starting from there, when you get up, you worship the ground, you worship the water, you worship the Surya, you worship the Grahas. In that way, they have formulated What are the things which we should do so that sattva becomes more and more? When sattva becomes more and more, we would like to go into satsangas. We would like to go on pilgrimages to good places. We would like to meet great people. We would like to go and listen to them. We would like to start reading Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads, things like that. And then step by step, Krishna will take care of us, take us by hand. He will take us and help us to climb the stairs. But Rajas will create a lot of unhappiness for us. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mata, Malsarya. It will give to all of them. So this Rajas, when it combines with these 7, imagine the multiplicity which can come out of it. Again, the proportion of Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mata, Malsarya can be in different proportions, and we find that man is confused. So these Sattva, Rajas, Tamas are primarily responsible for, but there is one thing. What is that thing? Even in the midst of that, we get attached to these gunas, but still they are held together or kept under control by Dehi, the Atma. We don't know that. We forget that it is that inner light that is lighting up this. So what are the things by which we get confused? So Shastras say, pramada. Our misunderstandings of this universe comes, one reason is pramada, mistaking one for the other. That is the mistake we all commit. We take the world as the reality and the ultimate truth as non-existing. So that is Iprama. We take that as the reality. We don't have no idea of the reality, so we take it for granted. What our Panjendriyas bring, the knowledge, that is the reality. So Shastras call that as Pramada, number 1. Number 2, inability to judge between right and wrong, samshaya. Oh, will it be all right if I go this, should I go to Krishna? Should I go to Devi? All sorts of little and big samshayas are there, doubts are there always in our mind. So that is also due to the doubt. These are the things will bind us to the gunas. Lastly, total ignorance. We don't know anything about it. We have never had a chance to hear. Now so many people are there outside India. They have not heard about Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. They have not heard about Satya and Dharma. They have not heard about Sachidananda. They have not heard about the potential divinity in human being. So what to do? So that is total ignorance. So these are the 3 things by which Dehi becomes bound to the Deha. And we commit all sorts of mistakes. Now, we will bring it to our family. We are concerned with our family, isn't it? Now, imagine Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. There can't be a 4th thing. So, in our family, if you want peace, if you want happiness, if you want good things to happen, prosperity, Sattva should be made dominant. From childhood, in all those Brahmin families, they will start chanting Vedas from childhood onwards. They don't know the meaning or anything, but their body, mind, and intellect get so very integrated. Then chanting this becomes part of their life. Once, when I came to Kodungalur, I went to Parlikad, Panyal, into a very, very traditional family who are Samavedis. And the eldest member of the family, we just met to put our namaskars. He has no other things in his life. Morning 3 o'clock he goes, takes a bath, have the darshan of the temple, sits there and starts chanting Vedas. At 8 o'clock or 8:30, he comes, just takes a very light breakfast, goes back, start chanting with us. 12:30, he comes, takes some food, goes back, starts chanting. You will be surprised. There is nothing else bothers him. All the time chanting the Vedic mantras. Nothing else. And at that time, I think they were trying to record, Shankaracharya University was trying to keep record of his chantings and things like that. So when we want to create good people in our homes, remember, we have to increase the sattva content in our home. Because you find, even though we belong to a family, father, mother, everything, everybody is different. Our skin color, our eye color, our behavior, our capacity. In everything there is variety, because that is the law of Lord Krishna himself. Variety, one in the many. But to unite them all together, bring them first under any of these characteristics, we have to implant in them the thought of this spiritual awareness, by which they will start developing sattvic qualities. When the sattvic qualities comes, they have faith in themselves and faith in the Lord. Then they will start seeing the whole universe as God's family. Then their mind will expand to seva and tyaga, and Lord's blessings will naturally flow into the family. So with all this concern, our rishis were so concerned about the humanity, they wanted to make their life easy. It is very easy. All you have to do to improve your sattva content, your house will be improved, your relationship will be improved, your blessings will be more, you will be healthy, you will be happy, you won't have blood pressure, you won't have sugar. All this can be taken care if your daily routine is based on this sattvic awareness. You spend some time for puja, some time for meditation, some time for chanting, some time to go to the temple, some time to have satsang. Include all these as part of your life, then you will find that this can be improved. But on the contrary, what we are doing today, just to the opposite. From morning, by the time children get up, they have to be pushed into the school, they're pushed into the bus, and then study, tuition, this thing, you have to get a good class, A+ in everything, and then get into the, all that. All this will develop in them the rajasic qualities. So in the household today, what is happening is, very few, one or two maybe is sattvic. Most of us are rajasic. And when rajasic quality dominate, there will be misunderstanding, lack of understanding, intolerance, always quarrels for food, quarrels for property. This is what is happening in all our households now, because sattva content has been eliminated totally. Nobody has any preference to develop sattvic quality. So what is happening is this. Imagine all the various acharas and anushtanas. Let us go through them. The Shodasha samskaras. Let us go through them and try to imbibe some of them so that our sattvic qualities are improved and we are on our ascending steps to divinity. Sri Krishna then tells him in a very scientific way, he explains the characteristics of each, because lack of time, I can't go into each of them, but very, very good explanations are there. And in that, one particular thing is samachittada. Samachittada is a characteristic of a sattvic person. Samachittada means what? That takes us to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Krishna says, Samadukha Sugha Susta Samaloshtasma Kanchana Tulya Priya Priyodhira Stulya Nindatma Samstudi Manava Manayo Stulyo Mitrari Pakshayo Sarvarambha Parityagi Gunaditasa Uchyade. So following this, you can transcend the gunas. Unless we transcend the gunas, we can't reach up to the Nirakara. See, just before that, just before the Nirakara, just before the Vaikuntha, is these steps of the Sattvika. We have to reach up to the Sattvika, develop the Sattvika qualities, and then Krishna says, you will have to transcend them also. So when you transcend them, what happens? All your, this thing will, Samadukha Sukha Swasta, Samaloshtasma Kanchana, Tulya Priyo Dhira, Tulya Nindatma Samstudi. When I read this sloka, I always remember in all our assemblies and parliament, this should be put up in very bold letters with meaning in every 24 languages of India. Maybe let it be there because all our members are there now. All the time quarreling and this and that. Why? What is the meaning of it? We know. Samadukha Sukha. Samaloshtasma Kanchan. This is what reminds us of Sri Ramakrishna. You must have heard, those who have read Sri Ramakrishna's life, he used to sit near Ganges, keeping one hand a clod of earth and on the other a coin. And then he, taka mita, taka, something he used to say. And then throw them both into the waters of Ganga and pray to Mother, Mother, my hand and heart, let there be no difference between a piece of earth and a gold piece. What we will do, of course, we know what we will do, isn't it? So that is the Samaloshtasma Kanchana is a very, very important statement. So even in those days, I think people were crazy about gold. That is why Krishna has used this as the ingredient for bringing the Samatva Bhava, Samaloshtasma Kanchana. Our politicians also, as I said, it will be very, very, very interesting if somebody could teach them as part of their training this particular sloka. The importance of our understanding of the gunas, their workings, their influence, not only at the individual and family level, it affects the whole of the world as well, the entire humanity. With this idea in your mind, you look at the humanity. Why some people are becoming, sometimes I feel very sad, maybe the type of food they eat, all sorts of meaty food. All that, of course, they are all described in later. We'll see in 16th chapter and all, we are going to see that even the food we eat, the habits we cultivate, how we sleep, when we get up, when we go to sleep, everything. So the one, when it has become the many, imagine the multitude of creative possibility the Prakriti is using to create this Jagat, this universe, where each one is different from the other. Sattva should be cultivated in our life, which alone can light up the path ahead. Sometimes we say, oh, I don't know how to move ahead. Somehow I am at a full stop in my life. All that we have to do is cultivate a little bit of our sattvic qualities. Our mind will become, it will acquire a shine, a prakasha. And in that prakasha, we will be able to see what is good, what is not good, what is correct, and what is not correct. It will become an intuitive expression from our inside. So the samshaya will go, pramada will go, nidra will go. When all these three go, when we are nearing to the pure knowledge. Implanting such important, comprehensive knowledge about the unity in diversity, Sri Krishna, as usual, puts his signature. So he has given the official document, 14th chapter is the official document we see from Krishna as to how the one has become the many. He took us to his maternity home. He introduced us to Prakriti, and through Prakriti, the gunas, how using these upadhis, the whole world is created, and what are their characteristics, and how will affect. For Amrita family, it is very, very important. If you want to develop an Amrita family, remember, Amrita qualities should be there. Not the Mrita qualities, the undying qualities. Undying means which will take us to the eternal. Ephemeral qualities have to be removed and eternal qualities have to be implanted. So that is the way we will have to create the Amrita factory or family. So as usual, when the chapter concludes, Sri Krishna always feel this boy Arjuna, he will always doubt me because I am his Partha Sarathi. I am Sarathi, so when I start preaching to him these high and mighty things, naturally, he will always have a inner feeling that Krishna really is qualified to teach me all this. That will be. So every chapter we'll find one sloka or other in which Krishna puts his signature and seal. And what is the signature and seal he puts here? That he alone is his supreme authority and is Sopadhika and Nirupadhika Brahma. He alone and none else. Brahmano hi pratisthaham amridasya avyayasya cha shashvadasya cha dharmasya sughasya ekadigasya cha. So I am the person. That is why I have the authority, Arjuna, to tell you. So understand me not as your friend or guide. Understand me as whatever you are seeking. If you want to see me as a Sakara, I showed you the beautiful illustrations of my Sakara Rupa. If you want to approach me as Nirakara, that also is possible. Bhaktya tvananyaya sakyam. So that is the final injunction with which Sri Krishna stops them. We have to carry this thought. We have to bring back those anushtanas and acharas by which we can increase the sattva content of our family, so that there are no quarrels, father and mother, father and children, mother and children, in-laws and children. All this comes because the rajasic content is more in each one of them. So let us, from this great lesson, improve the proportion of the sattva content in ourselves and in our families, and from there to the society. Satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivanmukti. It is what Shankaracharya also has told. So Sri Krishna has been so wonderfully, so very considerate he is. Through Arjuna, he is taking us all to his abode. May his blessings be ever on us to improve the sattvic content. So Amrita family means it is a sattvic family. All right, let there be some 10% of rajasic so that we have to earn the livelihood. But we have to concentrate on bringing back many of these acharas and anushtanas, find the scientific and spiritual content in them, and make our younger generation understand this, obey these rules, and let them feel for themselves how improved is their mental attitude, the mental climate, the awareness, everything will improve. You start getting up early in the morning, you start doing Surya Namaskar, you will find how it is all happening. So we have to, the elder generation, have to practice it, advise them, and enjoy the effect of it with the younger generation. May Sri Krishna gives us that capacity to follow his words, understand his words, and be one with his thoughts. Namaskar.
Pranam, Amma, just nicely Amma explained the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, how 3 different gunas are divided among the all Bhutas. So in a Amrita Parivar also, how this gunas will help us imbibe the good character within us, how to develop this sattvic nature. I heard somewhere this 60 is to 30 is to 10 ratio, it divides with everybody, because everybody has to undergo or have this all these gunas. So how, which one is, what is dominant over everybody, or that qualities, how we can make it dominant. So Amma has already told this proportion of the gunas are responsible for our character. So how this proportion we can increase towards the sattvic guna, a sattvic nature, that is what we have to, I think that contemplation, that inner look has to be there, and we need to develop it. So as a family holder also, Amma has told you how to make, we generally think that being family holders, we are rajasic in nature, or some of them are tamasic in nature, but this dominant rajasic nature, how we can change over to sattvic by giving that value-based education or character building education, or what you can say, what Amma has told is how from childhood, how that example also Amma has told you, that chanting of mantras, slokas, and that atmosphere how we create in the house, and everybody how we behave. Naturally a child born, and a child become a sattvic in nature from the childhood. So every member in the family have a great vital role to make a sattvic. So, and what all the problems a rajasic nature, a rajasic person have, that also we have seen that all the shadribus will increase, and all other 3 points also he Amma has told, from dehi to deha, how we can change, and pramada, mistake in the world in a different way. We take it as a granted, and that wrong understanding comes, and inability to judge and what is right and wrong, and wrong understanding will be coming, and then total ignorance also as part of it. So that also I was told, and how to develop good characters from the childhood. That is what I feel as an Amrita Parivar, this changes will happen. So and Amma has told about the samachittada also, how the sattvic guna, in the sattvic guna, when we are developing the samachittada, a balanced state, samatvam, equanimity of mind also, how we can develop it. And finally Amma has told, and Bhagavan is ending with that, and Bhagavan is the what is called gunathita, a balanced person, and authority to tell, and then a gunathita, and everybody has to reach to that, or reach to him through bhakti and total surrender. So through that sattvic nature only we can reach to him, and then only we can become Shankaracharya, what he says, that Jivan Mukta. So we are very fortunate to listen from Amma. I request anybody, any of the doubts, anything to ask to Amma.
Raghuji is coming.
Raghuji, Raghuనందన్ ji.
Pranam to Didi and every one of you. Today I was reminded of an example which Sri Ramakrishna gives. It seems there was a discourse on Bhagavad Gita, and everybody was, as every one of us are enthralled by the beautiful words and the commentary which we are hearing. Everybody was involved in it. And one person was sitting and very quietly shedding tears. And some of them noticed, and then because the lecture as such was very interesting. They didn't bother. But most of the people noticed this person crying. So after the discourse was over, even the speaker, he asked him, I was telling you something about Sri Krishna advising Arjuna. Why was it that you cried? The man said, I did not understand a single word, but that word is very important. I saw Krishna himself and Arjuna sitting and they are talking to each other. I was not able to control my tears. So today's discourse, one wonderful point which Didi told was about birth of Sri Krishna. When he held his child in his hand, all the chains which were binding him, they dropped by themselves. And then she said, she told the symbology. She said, whoever has this knowledge will be freed from this world. And the last one which she said, that if he is there, I should not have used that word, since he is controlling the whole universe as such, it's always better to go directly to him. As Sri Ramakrishna has to say, he say, God is always with us. He is always with us. But man is not with him. And that is the misery. That is man's misery. So if you are connected with Krishna, everything will happen. And Ananya Bhakti will dissolve all your negative qualities. And positive qualities will come together, come on their own. As Sri Ramakrishna used to say, that somebody went to him, they says, lust is my problem, or anger is my problem. What should I do? Sri Ramakrishna said, increase it. I mean, it was a shocking revelation for everybody. He said, increase it and direct it towards God. Once you do that, everything will be solved. All the problems will be solved. So, but how to develop it? That's what Amma has been telling us, how to do it, how to get rid of our negative qualities. Or I would prefer to say how to go nearer to Krishna. And once I hope we'll all go nearer to Krishna and he will solve our problems. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you, Gurudandanji. One more important thing is there on today. One of the Kannada magazine, bi-monthly, bilingual Kannada e-magazine, Viveka Sinchana. Now today it is getting released by our Manniya Lakshmi Didi. So it is a magazine with the effort of many Karyakartas, especially our Dr. Padmarekha Didi and a team of Karyakartas. A lot of articles on Mani Eknathji, Swami Vivekananda Kendra Samachar, Karnataka activities, and Samskara Varga children's guidelines, publication, all details comes in that. Now it is coming under as an e-magazine. So I request our Sudhagarji to share in the screen, and then Mani Lakshmi Didi will release, and Dr. Padmarekha Didi will explain about each page also. Let us chant one beautiful, one Omkara, and let us all chant one Omkara.
Thank you, Prasadji. Amma, dhanyavad for releasing this magazine. 1st November was the Karnataka Rajyotsava. So the front page is about Karnataka Rajyotsava, the day when Karnataka was reformed in 1956. So this is here, Hampe, the chariot, and Veerabhadra is sitting here in the Mysore Palace. So next page. This is the editorial team. With me, Srinivasaya ji is there, and Nagalakshmi ji is there, and Irana Chennagiri is there. And the whole magazine, the designing is done by Pratima ji. This is the just I am, because it is in Kannada, I am just giving an introduction of this. This is the articles and the pages. Next. This is the editorial. This time, we are taking in all the, this is the third issue. In all the issues, we are taking our Prerana Sroth one by one. In this issue, we are taking Swami Vivekananda and Amrita Parivar, the 6 bhas and the importance of Amrita Parivar in our this editorial. Next. This is Viveka Sampada. This is extract from the book Swami Vivekananda in America, written by Manya Niveta Didi. So we are taking it as it is. This is Viveka Kampu. Kampu is fragrance. Viveka Kampu, this is again Swami Vivekananda's thoughts in Kannada from the book Sarva Shaktiyu Ninnolagide. That is the book. Next, Anna. This is Ekanatha Sandesha in Kannada. The book Eknath Ji. From this is also from that book, extract from that book. This is about unsung heroes. Elemaraya Swatantra Veeraru. This is about unsung heroes. Here we are taking, this time we are in every issue it is coming. This time it is about Nana Sahib, one unsung hero from Karnataka. This is about the festivals, the coming festivals in the next 2 months. Festivals or the Jayantis and the important days, so that our readers can celebrate all these days. This is Bharatiya Habbagalu. Next. This is Samskara Varga Suchi, Marga Suchi. That is the whole, all the Samskara Vargas in Karnataka, they can follow this. What shloka should be taken, what story, what song. So we are taking this in every issues for the next 2 months, because it is by twice in a month, 2 months. Once in 2 months we are releasing it. So the 2 months details are here about for Samskara Vargas. This is from our Samskara Varga children. The drawing about Sangoli Rayana and the Ganesha. We had a Ganesha making workshop for them in Samskara Vargas. So this is done by the children. Okay, next. This is Vachana Vihara. In Kannada, we are having so many Vachanas, the poetic forms, so many like Basavanna, Akka Mahadevi. They wrote lots of many Vachanas, and they are telling what Gita is telling us in very simpler manner. So Vachana Vihara, in every issue we are taking 1 or 2 Vachanas and its meanings. This is our Vivekananda Kendra Karnataka activities. So the magazine will reach you. We'll send you the magazine to all of you. Can continue. Next. Next. This is, we also decided to take 1 or 2 articles from Karyakartas about some subjects which are near to our thoughts, Vivekananda Kendra thoughts. So this time, one Karyakarta, he is a student and he wrote this article. So 1 or 2 articles we are putting in this magazine. Next. This is our publication, Kannada publications, and next is English publications. Next. So this is our magazine. Please go through it. Whoever can read Kannada, and few articles are there in English also. Dhanyawad.
All the best.
Thank you, Amma. Dhanyawad.
Congratulations, Didi. Well done. Wonderful.
Thank you, Devi. Thank you. The teamwork.
Yeah,
So I
Dhanyavad,
think
Dhanyavad Amma, and Dhanyavad everybody for joining today's session. It was very worth and deep-rooted knowledge we could get from us Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga session. So we'll be concluding today's session with Shanti Mandra. Our Bhimanji, Bhiman is from Mysore. He is a Nivasi Karyakarta. So I request Sri Bhiman to conclude with the Shanti Mandra.
Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavad.